This is Live, Breathe Yoga, the show dedicated to inspiring your practice and elevating your mind, body, and soul. In Conscious Living, we talk about the buzzword organic. Kaye Study went on the road since we saw you last, and we met some amazing humans at two of the hottest yoga festivals in Eastern Canada. Today we chat with Chesley Long, the visionary behind Camp Yoga. This season in Strike a Pose, we share a short practice that you can follow along with at home. Yoga Bites has a fresh new look. We have brought in some amazing health and wellness professionals to share their favorite recipes that keep them fueled and on the go. Thanks for staying connected. Coming up, Conscious Living.
The reason why I chose the field that I'm in right now is because of a few courses I've taken in my third and fourth year undergraduate studies, and I was very interested in those topics, and they were focusing on how plants and microbes interact at the molecular level. And I find it fascinating that it has a potential application on agriculturally important crops, because in order to have the application, we need to understand the basic science behind how those organisms interact. Usually there's the understanding that organic foods is better for the environment. Okay. So because you're not using harmful chemicals or pesticides or things like that. Mm-hmm. But you have to consider that usually organic farming means the yield may not be as high as non-organic conventional practices. Something that I can do within my ability is to look for products that are that have less packaging. So try to buy what's in season is what I personally do, because usually what's in season means that there's lots of that fruit, that product, that vegetable or foods, which means the cost will go down during that time. Usually you know that if you're in Toronto in the summertime, like berries are a lot cheaper than in winter time, just because they're available, and that's when they ripen, and then that's when they're ready, and that's when you actually see berries coming from Ontario instead of from outside of Canada. I think because I understand how the process works, the knowledge allows me to have less fear of what's happening. And knowing that there's that application behind what I study, and it could be applied to things that are relevant to us in agriculture, things that we consumed. Whether we want to apply that is a different story, but knowing that there's that value behind what I do, I think is a good motivation.
Hi everyone, welcome back. So Camp Yoga has been around for just over a year, yeah?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I have the founder with us, Chesley Long. Thanks for being with us.
Thanks for having me.
So how did this come into fruition?
Camp Yoga started because, one, this camp here is a longtime client of mine. So although I teach yoga and spin, and I run Camp Yoga full time now, prior to that I sold forklifts and heavy equipment.
Oh wow.
And as you see around the camp, there's a whole lot of equipment, and so I've been coming here for 10 years selling them stuff, and had developed quite a personal relationship. Okay. And I just always thought when I came here, why is this just for kids? And always had that idea in the back of my head that I wanted to bring just my friends here, but how would I get a mass group of people here? And then after visiting Wanderlust, I just thought I wanted to make something more accessible and affordable, more connected and community-based from Nova Scotia. And I think that it's really important when you eat around the same table, something community is driven from that, and when you sleep under the same roof. And so I thought of it, and we did it last year, and so then I quit my job, and now I'm doing it everywhere.
So have you gone to camp as a child?
I think I did, maybe for a couple days. Okay. And I only say that I think I did because if it was maybe for 1 week of my life. I had a wonderful stay-at-home mom, a hardworking father, and they didn't really believe in babysitters. We were brought everywhere, so we were never sent away. Okay. We went camping, but I never experienced kids camp.
Okay. So how did you know you wanted to do camp yoga, specifically yoga?
Well, and again, it's not specifically yoga. That's what's great about this whole weekend, is that because it's a kids camp, there's many things. Like I'm a sports jock also, like I love hockey, Australian football, sports, and so here outside of the classes that go on, there's also Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, there's kettlebell classes, Olympic weightlifting, yoga, meditation, hiking, running.
Wow.
But because it's a kids camp, there's archery, rock climbing wall, high ropes course, canoeing, stand-up paddleboarding. On the Friday night, we have a live band come in. On the Saturday night, there's a DJ rave, black lights, glow lights.
Fun.
All that stuff.
Very adult.
Very adult.
So is there an age limit to who's permitted?
Not at all,
camp
and that's
yoga?
what's been also amazing to see is that when you create something and you have a vision that you want it to be for everybody, and then you never know who will sign up and who shows up. Like I have no idea who probably half these people are today, and my goal is to know them all by the end of the weekend. It's important to me, but people sign up. You have to be drinking age to attend, so 19, but we have people that are like 70 years old that come as
70?
well. Yeah.
That's amazing. What a way to bring people together.
100%, and you see them connect and collaborate, and people, it's like that. I never went to kids camp, but from what you hear and see on TV is like, day one, like they don't want to leave their parents and they're nervous and the jitters, and in the opening ceremonies class, you see like people that have come alone or just sitting there by themselves, kind of looking around like, who do I talk to?
Little apprehensive,
yeah.
just a touch.
And then like first thing I do in the opening ceremonies is like, okay, give somebody a chest bump. And then, just kind of remove that and get the shakes out. And then throughout the weekend, you start to connect and find your friends because you've built your own schedule to be in the things that you want to do.
Yes.
The people that are in those classes that are people that are like you.
Exactly.
And so you start to see the same people showing up to the same things you're at while other people are doing their things. And then you really start to see this tight-knit community leave camp and meet up after camp in the weeks after. So it's really awesome to see that. This is the 1 year anniversary. We did it once here last year, and that's when I decided I would do it anywhere. So this year we've done British Columbia at the end of May.
Okay.
And next weekend in Alberta, our first time ever, will be sold out, just in Canmore.
Wow.
Sold out.
That's a feat. That's
yes,
great.
350 people, and then next year we'll always keep the same location, same weekend every year, and then next year we're going to add Quebec, Colorado, New York, and California.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, you've been busy.
I've been busy.
What do you see for the future of camp yoga?
For me, important is what I'm seeing at each camp and bringing something that's specific to the community. So instead of me running a festival and taking it to every place, that allow the community to speak to me about what they want to see. And so if it's registered RMTs, if it's wine tasting, if it's cooking classes. And so I get to know the community. I move there with my trailer in advance of Camp Yoga to meet people, see what's local, what goes on, a local band. And I don't ever want to fly anybody. Any of the instructors are all local.
Okay.
So that after Camp Yoga happens, people disperse back to their communities, that we're still connected. We're not necessarily flying an instructor in from somewhere that they would never see them again. So
Right, okay.
yeah, the future is kids camps exist anywhere. Adults can go to them. So wherever there's a kids camp, I think there should be a Camp Yoga.
That's fair. I can't wait to see this in the future. I'm really excited for this weekend. It's going to be a blast.
Yeah, and we're really excited to have you, to see what you get up to and the way that the community takes away from experiencing you. And same thing, I feel like the teachers sometimes are a little bit nervous about going into a classroom where they've never taught. The students are unlikely their teachers, and so to see what happens for the teachers and building their community so that when they go back home, they have a broader sense of Camp Yoga as well, it's cool.
It's all about family. Coming up after the break, strike a pose. Stay with us. Today in Strike a Pose, we are sharing a short sequence that you can connect to safely at home or at the studio. Lee will be demonstrating a practice with a full range in motion, and I will demonstrate the same practice offering modifications should your range of motion be limited. Beginning in hero pose, eyes closed, hands on your knees. Gently connecting with your breath, slow, deep inhale. And lengthened exhale. Just allowing yourself to arrive on your mat. It's taking time with your breath, observing your rib cage expand and contract with each breath. And gently open your eyes. Inhale, take your hands up into prayer position. Exhale, take your hands to heart center. Inhale, arms up above your head. And exhale, take your hands to heart center. One last time, inhale, arms up. Exhale, take your hands to heart center. As you take your hands through heart center, come into a tabletop position. As you come into tabletop position, let your belly melt to the earth, shine your heart forward, chin up, inhale. Exhale, curl your spine to the sky, tuck your tailbone, tuck your chin. Inhale, shine your heart forward. Exhale, curl your spine to the sky. Coming back into a neutral position, tuck your toes under, send your hips up, coming into a downward facing dog. As you come into downward facing dog, raise your heels as high as you can, stretching out the back of your toes. Exhale, melt your heels to the earth. Inhale, lift. And exhale, melt your heels to the earth. Step your right foot forward, inhale, arms up, coming into a crescent lunge. Rooting into all 3 points of your right foot, back heel is high off the earth, reaching your chest up and back, as though you're reaching over a beach ball. On your exhale, coming back up into an upright position, root into all 3 points of your right foot, step into that right foot, preparing for Warrior 3. As you root into all 3 points of your right foot, slowly start to hinge at that hip, maybe getting your chest and thigh parallel to the earth, either keeping your hands to heart center or reaching your hands forward, whatever feels good in your body. And slowly from here, bending your knee, coming back into your crescent lunge, arms up, inhale. Slowly exhale, take your hands down to the ground, stepping back into a high plank, lower chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog or cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Step your left foot forward, arms up, coming into your crescent lunge on this side. All 10 toes facing forward, hands up, shoulders away from your ears. Again, reaching up and over this imaginary beach ball behind your back. On your exhale, coming back into an upright position, rooting into all 3 points of that left foot, slowly stepping into that left foot, and connecting with your Warrior 3 on this side. Finding that focal point ahead of you that isn't moving, and observing the difference between the two sides, if there is any. And gently, whenever you're ready, start to bend your supporting knee, come back into your crescent lunge, arms up, inhale. Exhale, take your hands down to the ground, step back into a high plank. Lower chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Just checking in with your body. From here, bend your knees, taking your knees down to the earth. Coming back into a child's pose, press your hips down to your heels, extend your arms, forehead to the earth. Just allowing yourself to settle here for a moment. Inhale to find length in your spine. Exhale, melt your hips towards your heels. And gently, when you're ready, start to take your hands underneath your shoulders. Roll up one vertebrae at a time, slowly stacking your head over your shoulders. Draw your knees closer together, coming back to hero pose just as we had begun our practice. And observing your body. Namaste. On Yoga Bites, we are going to be making cookie dough bites. I have Christie Preston from Bod Studio with us. Christie, why did we choose this specific recipe today?
Well, I love anything chocolate and cookie dough, so you put those two things together and it's a win. They're no bake, which is great because you don't need to turn on an oven or even have one with you. And they're just, easy, packable.
So simple.
Yeah.
Now, what ingredients do we have here?
So we've got a nice array of healthy ingredients. They're all vegan, also, by the way. I'm not, but it's a nice kind of bonus to keep the vegans happy in your life. So we have oat flour, which are just ground up oatmeal. We have almond meal, which is ground up almonds. We've got some almond butter, maple syrup, vanilla extract, coconut oil, salt, and then just some chopped up dark chocolate. Yeah.
I'm excited. Let's put this together.
Yay, awesome.
What do you start with?
So you're gonna need a bowl to start with, and we're just gonna start with the wet ingredients. So let's just put the maple syrup in, and then a spoon just to kind of mix it all together.
Okay.
Beautiful. So maple syrup, extract.
Do you want to grab the extract?
Perfect, yeah.
We'll build it together.
Nice, yay.
It's fast on your own, but even faster with a friend.
Yeah, so good. Great, nice.
Cool.
So we've got that, and then let's add in the coconut oil just to if you have a microwave and want to melt it, you can. If you're not into the microwave, you can totally just hand mix too.
I'm gonna grab that. I'm gonna grab a
Perfect.
chopstick to help.
Awesome. Dig out there.
Dig out the rest of the coconut oil.
So just mix it in until every kind of ingredient dissolves in. Awesome. And then we'll do the almond butter next.
Okay. I think I'll need this still.
Perfect. Great. Just if you want to see, can you guys see that? Yeah. Oh, there.
So
Perfect.
simple.
Okay. Yeah. It's coming together nicely.
So I guess it kind of helps to have a friend.
Yeah, exactly. I've never made this with somebody, but I'm totally, calling you next time. I need some more bites. And normally, I find if I only make this recipe in a single, which is what we're doing today, they get eaten before I leave the house. So normally, this is a really good recipe to do a double.
Okay.
Okay. You're,
That's good to know.
like me, and we'll destroy them before they're gone. And then we'll do the salt into this.
Is there a specific order on purpose, or is that just how you kind of like to
This is generally
build it?
just the liquids are first, so that they can mix together and emulsify, and then it's kind of like most baking recipes, I think. But it doesn't really matter. But the few times I've done it, where almond meal, it's kind of made it clumpier, so it's nice to just get it done.
So this is from experience.
Yes, I've made these many times. They're definitely tried and true. And then the
last but not least? Well, not really, that's last.
Yeah, and definitely not least in the chocolate chips, but
I'll just
the oat flour,
gradually toss it in there. That helps.
Perfect, that does help.
Oh, wow. It's coming together.
It is, yeah.
So, Christie, how do you live, breathe yoga?
Gosh, wow, big question.
It's a big question.
That's a great question.
Thank you.
I think that for me, when I first started to do yoga, it was a lot about I just want to get into handstands, and that was really cool. And then the philosophy and kind of the teachings of yoga came a little bit later, and that's what's really kind of kept me coming back to it. So I live and breathe yoga by just kind of trying to be as kind as I can every single day, and working from a place of love for me and seeing that in other people. That's been the biggest kind of yogic commitment I think I've had. Yeah.
So yoga is it's definitely more than just the postures.
Totally, way more, yeah.
And you discovered that through?
A practice, and then a couple of amazing teachers. My friend Duncan, hi Duncan, was one of my first sort of inspirational, awesome gurus. Catherine Budig, I found her online, and she's been great. So they were kind of the ones that sort of showed me the other side of it, so to speak. Yeah.
And I think that's kind of what happens when you're attracted to yoga, but as you start to learn more about it and kind of dive into the study of it, you see that yoga is so much more spiritually, mentally,
big time,
not just physically.
Totally.
Has having a yogic view on life changed the way you train?
Totally. Yeah, I think it's changed everything. Well, I think that it just, it opens you up to sort of the greater humanity, and it makes you kind of take a step back and not be so reactive in life, but just kind of allow kind of flow to happen everywhere. So it's a work in progress. I'm not perfect at all at that, but I think that applying that to my life has made me a much more peaceful person in general.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. Sweet, we're almost there.
So I'm noticing as you start to add more and more of the oatmeal, it starts to become a bit more dense
Yeah.
and
It gets a bit more of a base to it because, again, we're not baking this, so it kind of needs to be relatively intact right from the get-go.
Okay, right.
Yeah.
And then shall I add this, or do you want to
Sure.
mix that
Yeah,
up a
no,
little
we're
bit
good.
more?
Yeah,
Okay.
this is perfect.
It's time.
Yay! So quick and easy.
The only reason why we chose this recipe because of the chocolate. No.
Yeah. A big piece of it for sure. Yeah. And sometimes I'll add cocoa powder in at the beginning just to make them chocolate balls if you really want to go crazy.
That's another option.
Yeah. The last step is kind of just generally clean hands and then kind of mixing that all in together.
I'll hold this for you.
Thank you. This is so good. I'm seriously like loving assistant cooks here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cooking is always it's always more fun when you're cooking with somebody.
So much more fun.
Can I make some?
For sure, yeah. So I
How
think
big do you go with these?
small. Like try to keep them sort of like relatively bite or 2 bite sized. Yeah, I tend to kind of want to.
Cute. Oh
my gosh, yours is so cute. That's so much better though. Like that way you can eat 4 and not feel bad. Yeah. And then really it's just like teeny tiny.
Teeny tiny.
Yeah.
I was thinking like little Timbits.
Yeah, that's a teeny Timbit.
That's a
Those
teeny
are
tiny
so
Timbit.
cute. Yeah. And they don't need to be perfect, like however you
however
want.
size.
Yeah. And then if you really need to eat them quick, normally you just refrigerate them, but if you like had someone coming over for dinner or something, I can just throw them in the freezer for like 10 minutes and then they're like ready to go right away. You can probably almost eat them like this too. It's just nice that when they freeze a little bit, they don't get so sticky. So it's, yeah.
So what do you train in?
What do I train in?
In terms of what types of modalities do you train?
Gosh, well, classically I'm trained in Pilates, mat and reformer, and that was kind of a really good foundation for me to sort of understand like the nuances of the body and how it all connects together. I'm a personal trainer, so I have like a strength and conditioning background too. And then I was a runner and a rower in high school, so I have kind of an athletic. So I'm kind of like a dabbler. Like I love taking sort of the top from everything, and then my personal practice, definitely like weekly yoga practice, weekly strength training, and for me, the biggest thing is like I'm a lifelong learner. So if I find a teacher that I'm inspired by, I'm going to take whatever they're teaching. So,
yeah, that's true. And I think that kind of is true for most people who are yoga enthusiasts. I guess because yoga is also like 2,000 years old.
Totally. Yeah.
So there's so much to learn and so much to kind of expand within other practices, but by using, the history of something like yoga.
Yeah, exactly. No, it's an amazing base to work from.
A little bit of mess, but it's okay because it's all worth it. You come back with these delicious looking. They're looking delicious. Let's try them.
Cheers. Yeah,
thank you,
you're
Christie.
welcome.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
So good.
Oh my gosh, they're so good. And do you feel energized by this?
I'm all about like mindful eating. And for me, like really checking into like what do I feel good about eating afterwards, and it's not about like any kind of protein or like only vegetables. It's like no, I love chocolate. It energizes me. It like feels good in my system and my body. Obviously, like try not to eat the tray if you can, but some days you need to. I get it, but it's all about kind of paying attention to that, and that has been a big part of yoga for me too. Of really understanding that like the importance of checking back in and kind of tuning out like whatever sort of the latest diet is or the latest fad is, and just really owning and knowing like what works for you.
It's amazing.
It's been big. Yeah,
thanks so much, Christie.
Thank you, Kaye. This is so great. It's been a pleasure.
We'll have you back again to make more delicious things.
I'd love to. Thank you.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
I can't wait to make those no-bake energy balls again. You guys have got to try it. And thanks to Fang, we can make conscious choices about what we shop for in the grocery store. Big thank you to Chesley for creating Camp Yoga, the place where you can discover yourself and lose yourself. I hope you enjoyed your practice in Strike a Pose. Thanks for watching. Namaste.